Hello, Yankees Nation. Welcome back to your go-to channel, the New York Yankees News Network, your top destination for everything Bronx Bombers. Today, we've got a jam-packed lineup of updates that just surfaced a few hours ago, and trust me, if you bleed Yankee blue, you do not want to miss this. From an electric Subway Series opener to major roster moves, we're diving into the latest action that's shaking up the Yankees universe. But before we break it all down, if you're new here, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a beat from the Bronx. Let's get started. Update 1. Juan Soto returns to the Bronx, booed and beaten as Yankees send a message. The Subway Series just delivered its first shockwave of the season, and Yankees fans came ready for it. In a night fueled by raw emotion and historic implications, the Yankees crushed the Mets 6-2 in a fiery Bronx showdown. But all eyes weren't just on the scoreboard. They were locked on Juan Soto, the former Yankee-turned-Met, making his controversial return to Yankee Stadium. Soto, who famously signed a jaw-dropping 15-year, $765 million deal with the Mets this offseason, received anything but a hero's welcome. A sold-out crowd of 47,700 Yankees loyalists filled the air with thunderous boos, middle fingers, and traitor chants. The bleacher creatures, they literally turned their backs. But Soto tried to keep it classy. Before his first at-bat, he tipped his helmet, placed it over his heart, and nodded toward the fans who once cheered his name. Then came the cold reality. He went 0 for 2 with 3 walks and a quiet flyout to end the ninth. Silence from Soto, roars from the Bronx. Meanwhile, the Yankees were all business. Carlos Rodon pitched like a man possessed. 5 gritty innings, 1 earned run, just 2 hits. He now improves to 5 wins and 3 losses on the year, extending his dominance with his 4th straight victory. And the offense, scorching hot. Cody Bellinger and Paul Goldschmidt combined for 5 hits and 3 RBIs. Goldschmidt lit the fire in the third with a broken bat single that forced a crucial error from Mets shortstop Francisco Lindor, scoring 2 and flipping the game's momentum. Then came more damage, a sacrifice fly, a bases-loaded walk, and a clean 6th inning from Jonathan Loáisiga, back from elbow surgery and better than ever. Luke Weaver sealed the deal, retiring Soto with 2 on in the ninth to earn his 5th save. In a moment of poetic timing, Yankees manager Aaron Boone even handed Soto his 2024 American League Championship ring, behind the scenes, quietly, respectfully. It was a reminder of what they achieved together last year. But now, that chapter is closed. The rivalry is renewed. This wasn't just another game. This was a statement. The Yankees are not just playing for today, they're playing for dominance in New York. And if Friday night showed us anything, it's that the Bronx is not ready to hand over the crown. Update 2. Yankees make bold bullpen move. Tyler Matzek out, Loáisiga returns Yankees Nation. Big moves are happening behind the scenes. And this one's all about firepower and future strategy. Just hours ago, the Yankees front office made a decisive and somewhat surprising call. Left-handed reliever Tyler Matzek has been designated for assignment, clearing space for the return of one of the Bronx's most electric arms, Jonathan Loáisiga. Let's unpack this. First, Matzek. The 34-year-old southpaw had a brief stint on the Yankees roster, tallying just 6 1/3 innings over 7 appearances. While his earned run average was a passable 4.26, it was his 5 walks in that short span that raised eyebrows, an inflated walk rate of 14.3%. That kind of inconsistency is dangerous in late-game situations, and unfortunately for Matzek, the Yankees didn't see enough to justify keeping him on the roster. This isn't entirely new territory for him. Control issues have haunted Matzek throughout his career. While he enjoyed success during his tenure with the Atlanta Braves, even posting a 2.92 earned run average from 2020 to 2022. The high walk totals were always lurking. Then came Tommy John surgery late in 2022 and a series of elbow setbacks that derailed much of his 2023 season. This spring, the Yankees took a calculated chance on him with a minor league deal. But with limited upside and a logjam of arms, especially with bulk innings covered by Ryan Yarbrough, they've decided to move on. Now, Matzek heads into DFA limbo, where the team has up to a week to trade, release, or outright him. If he clears waivers, he could elect free agency due to his service time. Now, on to the positive news. Jonathan Loáisiga is back. And yes, the buzz is real. After over a year on the shelf recovering from ulnar collateral ligament surgery, Loáisiga is finally returning to the mound. This is huge. Back in 2021, Loáisiga was one of the best relievers in all of baseball, throwing 70 2/3 innings with a dominant 2.17 earned run average, a solid 24.4% strikeout rate, and an eye-popping 60.9% ground ball rate. He's had his share of injuries since, including shoulder issues in 2022 and a brief but frustrating campaign in 2023. But the Yankees have kept their faith in him and backed it up financially, giving him a $5 million guaranteed major league contract this past offseason with a club option for next year. So far, the early signs are encouraging. During his rehab assignment, Loáisiga threw 7 sharp innings, notched 9 strikeouts, issued 0 walks, and allowed just 1 earned run. That's dominance. That's vintage Loáisiga. And most importantly, that's exactly what the Yankees bullpen has been missing. With Matzek out and only one true left-hander remaining in Tim Hill, this move signals a tightening of the roster. The Yankees are doubling down on performance, not potential. They're prioritizing arms that can win now, and Loáisiga has proven time and time again that he can be that guy. Expect him to step back into high-leverage innings very soon, likely sharing duties with Luke Weaver, Ian Hamilton, and Fernando Cruz, depending on matchups. For fans wondering if the Yankees are serious about a deep postseason push, today's move should be your answer. They're trimming the fat, reinforcing the pen, and positioning themselves to stay atop the American League East. Update 3. Yankees trade lefty Rob Zastryzny to Brewers. Quiet deal, big implications? Yankees fans, while the headliners grab attention, it's the quiet moves like this that often set the stage for larger impacts down the stretch. In a low-key transaction that just became official a few hours ago, the Yankees traded left-handed pitcher Rob Zastryzny to the Milwaukee Brewers in exchange for cash considerations. At first glance, this might seem minor, but don't let the small spotlight fool you. There are several layers to this deal that could have ripple effects for the Yankees' bullpen structure and depth. Zastryzny, a veteran lefty with experience across 6 major league seasons, was signed to a minor league contract this past winter. He had been pitching for AAA Scranton, where surface numbers didn't tell the full story. While he posted a 4.50 earned run average over 12 innings, advanced metrics painted a more intriguing picture. A 23.5% strikeout rate, a 50% ground ball rate, and most impressively, 0 walks. That kind of control is gold in a bullpen arm. But with the Yankees recently designating Tyler Matzek for assignment and now dealing Zastryzny, one thing is crystal clear. The Yankees are streamlining their left-handed relief options, putting their chips on younger arms like Tim Hill, and possibly bracing for a trade or roster shakeup later this summer. Why Milwaukee? The Brewers were familiar with Zastryzny already. He pitched for them briefly last year before elbow tendonitis cut his season short. They've now brought him back, hoping he's healthy and ready to contribute. In fact, the Brewers didn't just acquire him, they immediately added him to their major league roster and optioned reliever Elvis Peguero to make room. That tells you how much value they saw in his current form. So what's the Yankees side of the story? Well, with a current surplus of bullpen depth, including returnees like Jonathan Loáisiga, emerging arms like Will Warren, and veterans like Luke Weaver and Fernando Cruz holding down key innings, the front office likely saw Zastryzny as expendable. It could also mean they're freeing up space for more active use of non-roster invitees or looking to make room for a deadline acquisition. Let's also not forget Garrett Cole, Clayton Beeter, Luis Gil, and Scott Effross are all currently sidelined but expected to return at various points this season. That's a lot of internal pitching reinforcement. In short, the Zastryzny trade may not make front-page headlines, but it's another sign that Brian Cashman and the Yankees are playing chess, not checkers. They're tightening the roster, positioning their bullpen for long-term stability, and leaving no room for passengers. This is a team that isn't just managing wins, it's building for October. And there you have it, Yankees Nation. 3 massive updates, all hitting within the last few hours, each one shaping our road ahead. From sending a thunderous Bronx message to Juan Soto and the Mets, to retooling our bullpen with the return of Jonathan Loáisiga, and finally clearing the decks with the Rob Zastryzny trade, the Yankees are locked in, focused, and moving like a team with one goal: bringing another title to the Bronx. We'll be watching closely to see how these roster decisions play out. And you can bet that when the next big news drops, we'll have it covered right here. If you haven't already, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the New York Yankees News Network, and turn on those notifications so you never miss a moment from your Bronx Bombers. Thanks for watching, and until next time, go Yankees.